Hello, everybody, and welcome to the penultimate Norm, the Cheers podcast that isn't and soon shall be more isn't. That's where we're hurtling towards. It's our second to last one. I'm Mike. It's Dave. It's Tookie. We're here. We're talking about the second to last episode of season 5 of Cheers. It's a very interesting episode. I remembered enjoying it a lot. I didn't enjoy it as much again. And I enjoyed it less again. like I saw it again for the first time in a while, and I was like, huh. And then I watched it a second time to get ready for this, and I was like, huh. Yeah, those were my noises. I don't know if your noises were similar, but those were my noises upon viewing again. And I don't know, part of it was, boy, this last few episodes have felt a little contrived. And I don't know how much of it is just like, oh boy, look at that bartender and waitress being able to afford that huge house in Boston proper. And that wouldn't happen anymore. I don't know. There's probably a lot of emotions going on there. But yeah, I did some research into the potential value in Bert and Lillian, or Bernie and Lily.
Yes,
Lillian?
Bert and Lillian, yeah.
Bert and Lillian bought that house originally, and then what Sam and Diane would have paid for it, and then what it cost today. And those numbers are going to F with your heads.
Yeah, you tell. I need to know.
Oh, well, baby.
Wait, like where are do you have a sense of where they could be? I kept thinking, like, is this like Roslindale? Or...
I think about that a lot because so I don't think it's Roslindale or an outer borough because we've seen Diane's apartment, and it's the top floor of a brownstone-ish building. Mm-hmm. So we know that she lives somewhere nearby. She has got to be on the T because Diane does not own a car. And where I think it is...
Oh, she owns a car, according to a few episodes ago when it wouldn't start.
Oh,
Remember
that's
when
right.
Sam was waiting for her to come back?
That is true. That is a fair point. But she never runs out to plug her meter.
Nope.
I suspect she travels by T most of the time. Where I think this house is you know that little area like off of Com Ave, right by BU, where Boston Playwrights is, if you turn left, and where a lot of people park if they're rehearsing at Boston Playwrights. Mm-hmm. There's all these houses that like professors used to own. And yeah, like I feel like that's where I feel like Bert taught at BU, and now like Diane was going to be... And yes, you're right, a car pileup. So Diane would have had to have been taking her car in today. So she would have been driving. I don't think Diane would live in Roslindale. I think, if anything, she would probably be in Cambridge because she talks about going to the all-night bookstore in Cambridge. And obviously, we're trying to apply logic when they have ceased applying logic to any of this stuff, and they just rewrite things as need be. But that's kind of the area I think they are in. Possibly Brookline. I think if I was picking a borough, it would probably be Brookline. Mm-hmm. Just from the look of that house, the description of things, it's on the bus line.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Watertown would be a stretch.
Yeah. It's that general neck of the woods. Mm-hmm. I don't think Diane would be in Watertown.
Yeah.
Especially because at that time in the 80s, it was not cost prohibitive to live in the city, and they want to get to Beacon Hill every day. And Watertown to Beacon Hill every day is not convenient.
No.
Brookline to Beacon Hill makes perfect sense. You're hopping on the Green Line and taking it straight in. Not a problem.
Though I will say my mind was blown to learn that there was, in fact, an A line on the Green Line at one point.
Yeah.
That went through Watertown. And I'm pissed that they discontinued it.
It's really, that was a good line too. I have a friend who is old enough, my friend Larry, and he talked about, taking the A line with his family way back in the day too. There was one of those, if you ever go to the supermarket or something and you see those little history books about the different neighborhoods and stuff, there was a great one about the T and the Green Line. Like some of them were about the subway lines. And one of them was like, there used to be an amusement park at the end of the A line to encourage more people to ride it.
What?
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Little tiny bits of Boston history.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to go to Agawam to get my thrills.
But But yeah, when where the beeline like branches off, you kind of see like there's these potted plants in the middle of the road. Yeah, that used to be the A line.
Tragic.
Yeah.
Just tragic. What a waste. Yeah. What a waste of commutable space.
I mean, every time they've removed public transportation, it's been really shitty.
Yeah.
Because they always promise to replace it with something equally as good, and they either replace it with something worse or nothing. Right. Like the elevated orange line, which was eventually replaced by the silver line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's not a bus. It's the silver line.
We all hate the silver line.
Of course we do. It's a bus.
We hate the silver line.
No one has ever chosen to take a bus over the train because it's what they wanted.
Right.
Yes. As someone who has done the bus from Montana to Boston and the train from Montana to Boston, trust me, you take the train.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bus is something you end up on.
Yes. Yeah. Bus is what happened when people stopped hitchhiking. Yes. But those are my theories about where they ended up. If you guys have other thoughts, I'm very open to hearing them.
Yeah, as we were talking, the only thought I had was maybe Chestnut Hill.
Okay.
It's possible, but I don't think there are buildings like they show the exterior of Diane's building. And which is one of the reasons I was less inclined to think Cambridge, because there are very, very few buildings like Diane's in Cambridge.
Yeah.
And led me to think more like there's a ton of buildings just like that right along that stretch in Boston, Comm Ave, going up Beacon Street and Brookline. Like I feel like those make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe less so Brookline. Well, I don't know if they would have even taken it into account then because of parking issues. Because most of you can't park overnight on the street in Brookline.
That's right, you can't.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah, unless there's a resident exemption, but I don't think there is. I think that's one of the things they really tried hard to do.
Yeah,
because everyone's unhappy in Brookline.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Speaking of the past, Dave, what was going on when a house was not a home?
This premiered on April 30th, 1987. Pretty quiet week in world events at this time. We're going through a period of relative calm in the world. Maybe that's I'm nostalgic for that at least. But I did look up this week's Billboard Hot 100, and it is a treasure trove of some fine 80s jams. Let's see. I'll just go through the number one song has surprising relevance to me today because it's the subject of the funniest thing anybody ever said to me. So I'll just go through the top five. Number 5, "Sinking Down is Sign of the Times" by Prince. Number 4, "La Isla Bonita" from Madonna. Number 3, "The Chiming Elegance of Don't Dream It's Over" from Crowded House. Number 2, the sadly overlooked in the history of 80s R&B, "Looking for a New Love" by Jody Watley. Forgot I loved me some Jody Watley. And number 1, it's kind of a one-hit wonder band, The Cutting Crew, with "I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight."
Oh, God.
Which
that song got a ton of airplay.
Boy, did it. Continues to have a life to this day. Was playing at a Cello's family restaurant I was attending a meal with some of my extended family, including my then 10-year-old nephew Ryan, who heard the song, turned to me and said, "Is this what was playing in your head when you first met Auntie Melissa?" And I thought that was the funniest thing I'd ever heard a kid say to me. And I'll pay for all his meals until he's 100.
Nice. I mean, it wasn't far off.
No, well,
87 to 94, so 6-7 years right there.
Yeah. It's it certainly could have been in the zeitgeist.
Yeah, it's not like he was asking about like staying alive. I mean, it was there.
I just give him credit because I don't often think of Ryan as an analytical kid, and he in the space of like 8 seconds, did a deep dive on the lyrics of that song while eating like a cheeseburger and absolutely killed me. Like, it was just brilliant.
Nicely done, Ryan. Nicely done.
Or as they say in town, good job, kid.
Good job. Knocked it out of the fucking park, kid.
Yeah.
All right. Tookie, can you tell us about the cold open, please?
I can. Short but sweet, just again. So we
short but sweet and mean.
And mean. So
Cheers is getting meaner.
It is, right? It's getting like we had Spicy Cliff in the early seasons, but like this is different. This hits different. Especially from the deliverer, not and the recipient. Said meanness.
A little bit of comeuppance, perhaps.
A little bit. And I mean, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. So we enter the bar and Carla kind of walks up to the bar counter, very sullen, just distraught. And, Guinness and stout with gin and tonic. And Woody notices how unhappy she is and asks, "Oh, something the matter, Carla?" And she's like, "Yeah, something's the matter. My life's the pits. It's like good things happen to everybody but me, you know. Norm has a new job. Fraser actually seems happy with since he met his creepy girlfriend, which I will not stand by any sort of Lilith Sternin slander. Thank you very much. But Fraser's been happy since he's met his creepy girlfriend, and Sam has given up on women and decided to marry Diane. What have I got? Zip. And, you know, just with all this like ruminating, brooding, like just sad saccharin. And she's like, Woody, how do you manage to keep such a sunny disposition in this rotten, stink-infested world? And Woody, in his cute way, is just, "Oh, you mean, what do I do when I see Mr. Blues peeking around the corner?" And Carla's just disgusted. She's, "Oh, God, he even has a cute name for depression." But Woody says, "No, I close my eyes and I think a happy thought. Here, I'll show you," right? And Woody just kind of just stands there at the bar, closes his eyes, and begins giggling to himself. And Carla is like, "Well, what was your thought?" And Woody opens his eyes and turns to her and says, "I'm glad I'm not you." Roll credits.
Nice. All right. Yeah. Sometimes they make Woody surprisingly mean.
I know. I wasn't ready.
Just comes out with that. So we've got basically one story this week, and it is Diane coming into the house saying, "You're going to be so happy I found a house." Diane is rerouted because of a 6-car smash up on the way to work, finds the perfect house for her and Sam, and puts down a deposit without telling Sam anything about it. He is incredibly surprised. They'd agreed to live in his apartment for a year. Apparently he lives across the street from an exotic dance academy, which leads me, I feel like I have a good idea where Sam lived.
Okay.
Like Beacon Hillish, but right near the combat zone. Because it was right near Cheers.
Yeah, they referenced the combat zone at least once in the like season 1 or 2, I remember.
Yeah.
A few times, yeah. They're gonna go to the Wham Bam room. Coach suggests going to see a girly show. Yeah. So I think, I feel like that's probably right around where Sam lives. And of course, we know that they're going to, that as insistent as he is that they're not going to buy the house, of course they're going to buy the house. And in the next scene, they're in the new house. And it is a very 80s house. And I want to just give some love to the set decorators of that time, because it very much felt like a house that was built in the 40s and has been redecorated to fit the 80s. It's really got that vibe. And, you know, like Dave said something about how much pink there was in that house. And I feel like that was very accurate. If you ever look at houses that have not been updated, like there's a lot of pink bathrooms, you know, pink got a lot of love.
Pink and pastel blue.
Pastel blue, big color, you know, Miami Vice was big. Sex symbols wore pastels. It was just that time. And wallpaper was big, and that was the carpeting that was in a lot of places. I really felt like I had been in this house. I felt like, okay, good. The backdrops outside of the windows were a little rough. It did not look like they were in a real neighborhood, but that's fine.
No, but it did look like it had been like cleaned out and staged for sale in 1987. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, they gussied it up. They are coming in. Sam's bringing in his picture of dogs playing blackjack which is my recurring joke of the week. I love that painting. I love all dogs playing something paintings. I am shocked that I've never owned one. They're just great. They're really delightful. They are such a, I think they're also a meme for tackiness.
Yeah.
Dogs playing something. Is it a meme? I would
That's
argue it is, but a funny meme, and I would enjoy it. I think they're great. Yeah, and I love how genuinely, like, just the way Sam chuckles every time he sees it makes me happy. And I'm like, yes, I want that to be in their house. And Sam is now very much on board with this house because it's such a great house. It's a beautiful place. Thank God you talked me into this. They are so excited. They're getting a little randy at the thought of building their lives together in this new house. And then Bert and Lillian come out, even though they no longer live in this house. Just a lot of contrivances to make things work. Because, like, obviously, look, I know it's a TV show, but they would have been at the closing. Like, they just closed on this house. They would have run into them there. This all would have come up. But they want us to happen in the house. Okay, fine. They start talking about all their memories, how they're sad to say goodbye to it. And as soon as Diane realizes that other people have lived in this charming old house, she can no longer live in it. Oh my God, this will always be their house. And this is where I just started to tap out on the episode, where I'm like, do you not know how houses work? Like, someone else has lived in that house. Does everyone have to die in their house? And is then that okay? Is that better? Like, this is how housing works. It would be much sadder for you to tear this house down. And there's not like inexhaustible room in the city. Someone else owned this house. It really just felt like, all right, we got to find him a house. Then we got to find a problem with it. And wouldn't it be funny if we had to throw one last Christmas party? And the episode is going downhill. Because, yeah, it just felt like Diane is not this stupid. This is not going to be a problem. These are lovely memories that these people are leaving behind in this house. They are not homeless. They did not stop making the payments on this house. They are moving to a condo, which is what you do with a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom house when you are now 2 old people. You don't stay in that house forever taking care of it. Like, Diane wants to somehow stick these people with not having money for their house condo anymore. Like, that's how this works. It's such a weird plot point that didn't hit me when I was 12 and is hitting the shit out of me now. Like, this makes no goddamn sense. And then, okay, so they come over to celebrate the housewarming. They bring the gifts, saying, I can't spend another second in this house. They all leave. Next scene, they are going to sell this house to another couple for a profit. I don't know why Diane is somehow okay even having this conversation with new people, because someone else is going to live, and it's not Bert and Lillian, so why isn't it just Sam and Diane? Sam thinks they're going to make some nice money flipping this house. They come out. All they wanted to do was live in this house. Well, they were going to do something more, which is what you were going to do with it, so why aren't you living in the house? Okay, so they didn't get to another Christmas. Frasier suggests giving them one more Christmas. And now they're having Christmas in the house, and for some reason, Sam needs to play Santa Claus. I don't know who usually plays Santa Claus when this family is having their Christmas, but it's not Sam, and I don't get why having Sam playing Santa somehow makes it this. They're having Christmas in the middle of summer, and they're having a lovely time, and then, I don't remember the Easters. Okay, we need to have another Easter. Sam starts yelling at this family, saying, no, it's our house. I'm sorry. You have to leave. You can't live here anymore. Says, all right, Santa's right. He's a little rude, but he's right. It's time. Let's go to our condo. Yay. And then somehow Sam yelling at this nice family who you invited over. And then Diane just suggested that they have Easter there. Sam, if you're going to yell at somebody, yell at Diane. This wasn't their idea.
Mike, I don't think you like this episode.
I thought I did. That's the worst kind of episode. The episode that you're looking forward to again, and then you go, oh, shit. This isn't a good episode of television.
I did find...
let me just finish the recap.
Go ahead.
I don't want to have this in my head longer. So then they all leave. Sam says, I'm not apologizing. And in this very weird, uncomfortable, which is, I think, my 80s moment of the week, Sam, do you feel it? The house is ours now. You claimed it for me. Like somehow she's aroused by his yelling and his anger, and that claims their territory. And now all she can do is have sex in the dining room. And then there is one more joke about the painting that I did enjoy, and then the end of the episode happens. It's like, God damn it. All right. I'm sorry, Dave. You had a thought.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, I actually didn't mind yelling at the Millers a little bit because I did find them a little bit intentionally manipulative, and I thought that Billy Bird, who's like a classic '80s character actor,
yes,
and I was happy to see in this, and Douglas Seal, who's another tremendous British actor, they ring a little like I don't think it's in the words, but they are definitely bringing a little bit of like a sort of a manipulative edge to their characters, which I kind of enjoyed, and obviously like that's they like I think there's a little bit of like a predatory sense, like they see that something in Diane that they can kind of like push against, and like Diane is of course very receptive to that pushing. So I for me, like the yelling at them, I don't know. And plus, I always find it kind of funny when adults are yelling at kids. That's always shockingly like a little.
Just
bit
1 second. There's a guy outside.
Uh-oh.
Hello. Sorry. That house right there. It gets all confusing. No, this is 26. That's 30 right over there. You're welcome.
We're leaving all this in.
There is no post.
As opposed to our normally carefully edited episodes. We're just going to leave the rough spots in this time.
Yeah. It's authentic.
We're just like you.
Also, I'm thankful to still have this job, unlike our friends Don and Cucker. Waking up to the news that...
Yeah. Tucker's going to probably do better out of this than Don.
Yeah.
Tucker's probably going to be the new Joe Rogan. He's going to start a podcast. He's going to start all this shit. Someone's going to give him a lot of money. Newsmax will back the truck up. Although, so, people keep saying Newsmax. I'm like, they just lost a whole bunch of carriers. Like, there is not the money at OAN and Newsmax that people seem to think there is.
No, which is.
But I think he's probably going to, he's going to go the podcast route and make an awful lot of cash.
Oh, God.
But I'm still glad that he got fired.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
It does make me happy. Poor Don. Yeah, Don did not bounce back from that. Oof. I'm not sure where he's going.
That article did him in.
Which article?
There was some sort of.
I thought it was the article about Nikki, or the comments about Nikki Haley that did him in.
Oh, probably. Maybe that's the one we're both thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah.
The article in Variety.
Oh, it might be. Is that where he said she's not in her prime?
Something like that. Or there was some article that was like, oh, he's, allegedly had displayed misogynist behavior, blah, 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 around the set. Yeah, no.
I'm sorry, Don. C'est la vie. But the path back for Don will be rougher.
It'll be rougher. And I mean, I personally would, although I'm not a fan of misogyny, given that we do have a misogyny of the week category for this episode.
Well, we used to. We got rid of that.
No, that's Sam's creepy quotient.
Oh, yeah. Do we have misogyny of the week?
We have a misogyny. Every now and then I highlight a misogyny of the week. I have one for this episode, too.
Oh.
But yeah, obviously not a fan of the misogyny. But I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that, like, it doesn't help his case in terms of how quickly he'll be able to bounce back, given that he's both Black and gay. But people won't want to readily admit that. But it's like, that kind of either he'll find a niche with a new company, hopefully without the risk of it being like pandery, like they hired him based on, oh, we're so diverse, look at who we got, and rather hire him based on merit and his skill, or it'll take a while for him to properly bounce back and reclaim his prior position, prominence, and such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two thoughts.
Yeah.
Is it at all misogyny that I didn't realize we had a misogyny category? Like, I know it gets mentioned every once in a while, like, oh man, there's some misogyny. I didn't realize there was a category. So I don't know what that says about me.
It doesn't pop up every week, but every now and then I note a little misogyny of the week that I pick up on. Yeah.
All right.
It's not you, it's the system.
Okay.
Well, I'll create
will anyone
banner
give me
that will help.
What kind of odds will people give me on Don Lemon taking over the 8 o'clock Fox slot?
Oh my God.
Ooh.
Is there a chance?
Oh my God.
That Don will want a gig badly enough in a prominent enough spot that he will lean into Fox in a not so crazy way, but in a way that Fox can say, hey, we can't be that bad. Look at the gay black man that leads our primetime block.
You know, if he does that, I'm going to have to walk into the Charles River, right? I'm going to walk directly into the ocean if that happens.
I understand that's a risk there. I think Rupert's willing to take it.
Oh my God. I can't.
I'm not saying this is likely. I'm asking what kind of odds I can get. That's going to get some headlines.
I understand being a mercenary.
Mm-hmm.
But oh man, I'm counting on him having some integrity.
I hope so. But we've already established it's not as likely that he's going to have a cushy landing spot somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, if the accusations of misogyny are there, the Nikki Haley stuff, it's not a clear path to MSNBC, or, you know, he just left CNN. CNBC is probably not an option. Your options start to become a little bit more limited. Do you lean into that direction and start going, you know, now that I've seen how easy it is to be canceled, I've had to think about some of the thoughts I used to hold as self-evident. And let's talk about that here at the 8 o'clock block.
Oh, boy.
You're talking about a full Jason Whitlock, and I am not cool with that.
Half Jason Whitlock.
Well, yeah, all right.
Half Whitlock.
A half Whitlock.
Yeah, it's a half wit. It's a wit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just the thought of it all, though. Oof.
Yeah. I mean, I hope he has more integrity than that, but anyone who's full-time job, who makes a lot of money by being a talking head, I will never assume would not do something for the right job. I mean, I don't think Tucker Carlson believes most of what he says. He used to be he did MSNBC. He was on CNN before. He was conservative, but he was the reasonable one. Mm-hmm. And then he saw where the money was, and he's like, all right, let me cash some of these checks.
Right.
Megyn Kelly was hardcore conservative, and then she got a huge offer from NBC and tried to tone it down, couldn't, and now went back hard right again. Like she's just steering into the skid wherever it is. Like, all right, here's the money. Here's the money over here. Almost any pundit, I would believe, for the right number, will say what they think needs to be said. Glenn Beck.
Oh, boy.
I mean, Glenn Beck did the whole, like, he was like insane, and then did the whole apology tour. And then he's like, hey, no one cares about this that much. I'm going to be the most right wing again.
Well,
I don't know.
Don.
I hope not.
I know Don watches this show. Don, don't do it.
Don, we got a spot for you right here. We got one more rectangle. Fill it up.
Mm-hmm. We got a whole new format. We can build it around you, baby. You're right here.
Easily.
Yeah.
Your landing
Tune in next week
spot
for When Life
here.
Gives You Lemons.
Oh boy.
Nice. Our theme song will absolutely be Lemonade.
Yes.
Nice. Oh, Davey with the good hair.
Oh God. Oh, it's already been donated though.
That's true.
Oh.
All right, let's burn through some categories to make sure that Tookie is out on time. I did my joke of the week. Tookie, what is your joke of the week?
Mine joke of the week. Is it cool if I had a runner-up too?
Sure.
When the crew first visits for the housewarming, that was a 10-second housewarming before Diane lost it.
Good moment.
Yeah. Well, Sam yells out to the car, "Sorry about the bad time," and Carla yells out, "Sorry, guys. Sorry about this, guys. It's a bad time." Carla yells back, "Wait till the honeymoon." But
a literal Carla drive-by this week. I love it.
But as you know, I don't often go for the lowbrow, but I am known to love a good poop joke. And you know what? This is pee-pee humor, but it got me. During the Christmas festivities, when Diane is kind of sad about whatever is going on, and she goes, "Sam, we haven't even roasted the chestnuts yet," and he goes, "Guess again," honey. While in his Santa suit. Yeah.
The fact that he kind of airs out the front of the jacket as he says it, I laughed.
It got me.
Yep, I was there for it. Dave, your joke of the week.
I also like I said, I thought the abortive housewarming was so funny. It was a nice kind of inversion of that trope. You know, everybody's expecting the housewarming Cheers gang to show up, and the fact that they were thrown out just instantaneously was funny. And my favorite moment was Norm just turning as they're walking up to Sam and saying, "You know, a couple of years ago this would have surprised me, but now,"
it,
kind of with the head nod towards Diane. It's like, all right, there's a little bit of misogyny of the weekend there, but it all kind of checked out. It was a nice kind of cumulative energy to it.
Yeah.
Yep. Dave, your 80s thing of the week.
Oh man, on the floor of the Christmas party, there was a My Buddy doll, and that
was that what that was?
Yeah.
I noted it as a Wumbo-sized Cabbage Patch Kid. So that's
that was my buddy. Wherever I go, he's gonna go.
He looks like a CPR dummy if Adam Rick was a CPR dummy.
Christ. Oh man, so that was a My Buddy. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I clocked that too, and I was like, I don't know what the hell that is.
So I had one 80s moment. I did want to, I know Tookie's probably going to cover it, but I did want to pour a little out for my other 80s moment of the week, Mr. Bob Urich. Robert Urich, big moment in the Boston area when they were filming Spencer for Hire in the greater Boston area. He's made an appearance before. It's good to have him referenced again. It just goes to show it really, really mattered when this very moderately popular TV show aired and filmed in Boston briefly.
I noted that name and I don't know who that is. Forgive me, please.
It was so Spencer for Hire was a TV series from the 80s based on a series of books. It was set in Boston with a private eye. Yeah, named Spencer, one name. Never knew if it was his first or his last name.
Like Columbo?
Exactly. Yep, he was Spencer. And the books are really fun, actually, if you ever go back and read them. They're a good read. You will definitely find some misogyny of the week in every chapter, but a fun 70s read.
Cool.
Where a guy who's just sort of picking up private eye spots also has a one-bedroom apartment on Marlborough Street. It was just a different time. Yep. But some love to Robert Urich, who is no longer with us.
Noted.
There you go. Also, he was also in one of the wildest. He played a private detective a lot. He also was on a show called Vegas, playing a guy named Dan Tana, who's parked his car in his house. It was really wild.
What?
Yeah. Oh, you got to find an old episode of Vegas on there. It's really crazy.
It's bonkers. I had
it was nuts.
My dad ran a packaging and box making company for a lot of years, and as a result, would sometimes do packaging for toys and things like that. And so sometimes, not that often, but occasionally, a weird toy would kind of make its way home as a sample. And I remember, I think
the Vegas toys, the set with the glasses.
Yes,
I had that.
I cannot believe I thought I might have been the only kid in America who had like a Vegas like dress. Like I had like handcuffs and like I think a billy club or a gun. And yeah,
I'm
like
scared.
it was for a show that was not intended for.
It was a
children.
10 p.m. show. It was showgirls, and like there was a hysterical thing about that they talked about on some podcast where like they did those interstitial things where they were introducing Paul Thomas Anderson's dad used to be the voiceover guy saying on tonight's ABC, you got the love boat. Oh yeah, go back and look those up. It's great. And his dad did the intros for all that stuff. And then it's like, on tonight on Vegas, and they show like two hot women going, Dan, you've never heard of Dan Tana? And then it's Bob Urich just strolling through the casino, like, oh, it's great. It was so not for kids, but they had a Vegas kids playset. Yeah, that's hysterical that your dad boxed that up.
I have a feeling they might not have got either. They didn't get the account because I don't recall seeing any. I don't recall ever seeing any other packaging for stuff, or perhaps more likely that product tie-in flopped,
as it should have. Like, and even the sunglasses that you got were these really weird, almost like granny glasses. Like they were not cool glasses. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's like it would be like having like a Succession playset today.
Don't tempt a certain someone with a good time. He's a fan of that show.
I hate my children.
Yeah, I know I covered it up, but yeah, I can't warm up to Succession. I tried so goddamn hard.
I don't get it either, Mike. I don't get it either.
It's well acted. I don't think I have any more time to spend with bad people.
That's valid.
Yeah.
That's valid.
I gotta have somebody to root for on a show. Mm-hmm. And if I don't, man, that show's got to be amazing. It's got to be Breaking Bad. At least I need to think I had someone to root for a while. Suck me in. Make me think Kendall Roy might be an okay guy.
You know, it's not that I was rooting for him. It's more that I'm such a fan of Giancarlo Esposito that I love it when Gustavo Frings.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. All right, Tookie, your 80s moments of the week, please.
My 80s moments. So a couple that we will overlap on the poker dogs for sure, the whole house with the bisexual wallpaper, the whole scheme of it. So you guys sort of touched on it, and I know this persisted into the 90s because I remember it, but it's like its last gasp was in the 90s because I remember seeing it on like Family Matters, which is those poorly painted backgrounds to like kind of convey a neighborhood around a house. Robert Urich, yep. When Sam, oh God, I forget when Diane was talking about like flipping the house, and Sam's reply to her, like in anticipation of her possibly screwing it up, he says, "Did you queer the deal?" Which, like, woof.
Yeah.
Woof.
Even then, I don't think that got used that way very often.
I would hope not. The Christmas decor all around that house was so deeply 80s because those paper cutouts of Frosty and Santa, like paper cardboard decor. And what else? So there were two plug-in oscillating fans, one next to the Christmas tree and one on the mantle. And you don't see fans like that anymore with that kind of grating and the plastic blades on the inside with the settings. And yeah, the Wumbo Cabbage Patch doll, which I learned today is my buddy. And I don't know if this is a meme or not. This is kind of a meme, a half meme, if you will. But old folks, you guys touch on it. Old folks, when they move out and downsize, they always get a condo. It's always a condo. So those are my moments.
Yeah. I don't know if that qualifies as a meme.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a storytelling thing of like, hey, these guys are old, but not so old that you need to feel bad for them.
Right.
They're not going to assisted living. They're fine. They're vibrant. They're going to a condo.
Yeah.
But I also feel like that's sort of the way a lot of people do it. Because people who are homeowners don't then just want to become renters for the rest of their lives. They have seen the benefit of owning a home and the tax benefits, and I think they're like, I don't want something to take care of as much, but I still want to, have an ownership stake in it. That's a condo.
Yeah.
So I don't. Maybe it qualifies as a meme. I mean, it's done, but I think it's because it's done.
Yeah.
So take that as you will. I don't know if that prevents something from becoming a meme.
Yeah.
I think there's also it does have like kind of an 80s thing to it of like, I feel like the 80s is the first time we start hearing the word condo in like real regular parlance. Like before, like I think it really is kind of like you have an apartment or you have a house, and now like there's this intermediate step, which is suddenly a facet of urban living which hadn't been maybe as prevalent before.
True. Very 80s. All right. Tookie, how white was this week's episode? It felt pretty white.
It was pretty white, but they tried. We had
the bar was pretty good. Just the Millers were very they should have been moving to Salt Lake or something.
Yeah. By the way, my misogyny of the week was Cliff noting, based on Diane buying the house under Sam's nose, essentially, or putting down the teensy deposit, saying, "Oh, you'll never catch a woman of mine leading me by the nose." Yeah, I was like, "Oof," that was a little rough. Anyway. In the cold open, we had no people of color. In scene 1, we had a South Asian man who was walking in the hall who passed by the bar, a black woman at the bar, an Asian woman to her right, a black man at the upper booth, a woman of color. She wasn't quite in focus enough, but she was by the jukebox, a black man who was got up from the bar, an Asian woman at the bar, an Asian man at the far end of the bar by Fraser, a woman of color again by sitting underneath Geronimo. Scene 2 and 3, not so much. But scene 4, we had a black woman at the back wall, a black man and black woman at the door, an Asian woman sitting in the upper booth, another man of color, again, I couldn't quite tell, sitting at a table, a South Asian man at the bar. I think he was a reused extra. Actually, yeah, let me save the reused extras. An Asian woman at the bar and an Asian woman at the back table, with 1, 2, 3 reused extras. So 23 people of color this week.
That's a bigger number than I was expecting.
Oh, I left out an 80s thing, by the way. Buying crystals in China, like making a thing about buying crystal in China. For the house to get married.
Yep. Definitely in the 80s list.
Yeah. So 23 people of color.
All right.
Not bad.
There we go.
Not bad.
All right. So I was thinking this is going to be in the upper echelon of this season, and it's definitely in the bottom half.
I'm sorry.
I did not expect. It's okay, because I did not expect the little plot machinations to bug me as much as they did. And when they did, it's another reminder to myself, I think, that we're tapping out at the right time, because it becomes more heavily these contrivances with good writing, with good jokes. And there were some good jokes in this one. But I think, on a steady basis and breaking it down, I think it might start to get on my nerves. So I think maybe that's another indication that we're doing the right thing, on top of the fact that everything is leaving Peacock on Sunday at midnight. So don't forget to get everything in there. Yeah. If you do not have Paramount Plus, you gotta get these episodes watched before Sunday at midnight.
I can't bring another streaming service into my life. I'm full.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little full.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I predict 2023 is going to be the year of merging.
Well, look
We're already
at
seeing HBO Max is becoming Max, which is the dumbest name ever.
What is that?
I mean, HBO Max wasn't a great name, but at least you had like the decades of HBO prestige tied to it.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're just Max.
Ugh.
I don't get it.
Garbage.
Yeah. So that's happening. But I think, and Peacock is either going to buy Hulu or Hulu's going to buy Peacock. They're going to start merging these because they don't need to. Disney is already not thrilled with where Disney Plus is at. and they're realizing, oh, I think we want to be a content company and not a tech company. So it's all happening. And I can't bring myself to give up cable.
Oh, really?
Same.
I love flipping too much. It really, like, it hurts me to not be able to flip.
You'll get, I thought so too, but you'll get over it.
I guess. I don't know. I like having, and I think I'm of an age where it's too important to me to be surprised by Fletch. You know? Like, it matters to me to be able to flip around and go, Fletch is on, boop, and like come in 15 minutes later and figure out exactly where we were. And yeah, like it's hard for me to give that up. Like that was so much of the joy, surprise of my life as a child was, oh my God, the G.I. Joe movie. I had no idea I would be watching this today. It's important for me to know that someone else is in charge of deciding what I'm going to watch.
Yeah, I can't always sit down with intention. Sometimes I need to be surprised.
I don't know. I made the mental switch. It's not that hard, guys. I swear.
Well, you're younger. You're younger. You don't have your roots in it the way that we do.
I guess.
You never knew a time without a VCR.
True.
You never knew that time.
Very true.
You never had a time where you just had to watch whatever was on. That's a part of my DNA is hardwired that way.
Oh man.
Yeah. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying if it gets in there deep enough, early enough, it never totally leaves.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'll give the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. I would like to. I keep thinking I'm gonna cut the cord. And now that I see like more and more streamers are gonna merge, I feel like everything's gonna migrate back to cable anyway. Yeah. And cable's gonna come out of this being a big winner. So I'm not sure.
I can't imagine. I don't know. I don't want to go back to the box. I don't want to be beholden.
I understand.
I
understand.
I still have such a sick thrill every couple of years when I like go to my cable company who I've been enthralled to for decades now, and they give me a new box and some new stuff happens with it. It's as close as I get to a kid in a candy store now.
Yep. And there's the nostalgia. Whenever you look at like a movie from the 80s and you see the cable remote that you had, it's kind of fun.
I guess.
Like, oh yeah, the big like thick gold one. That was a good one. I liked that one.
The
that
gold
like a phaser.
What?
The gold one? Talking about. There in my neighborhood, yeah, there was one stretch where you had it was like two cell phones kind of like piled on top of each other. And it was brown plastic and the panel was sort of gold with brown buttons.
Okay.
Yep.
I believe you, but
it felt good. Like the weight of the remote it felt like you could launch a nuclear weapon. It was like, oh, this is substantial.
Yeah, I mean, I will say an Apple TV remote, not that meaty.
So. No, very slight.
You got me there.
There's no remote today that's really like an old cable remote.
You got me.
Nope. No, and it wasn't contoured for your hand at all. No one ever had a hand that was made for an old cable remote. It was like,
Why would
nope, didn't exist. All right, we're creeping up on the last episode. How are we feeling?
You know what? It's kind of like Harry Belafonte. Sad that he's gone, but glad he was here.
Okay.
Yeah, and just that feeling of, it was the right lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not, oh man, it's too soon. No, it's the right time.
Yeah.
The right time. And we're transitioning to something fun.
Yeah.
Yep. We're going audio. It's going to be amazing.
I'm also fun, but like I'm a little scared. I can't lie.
Oh, have we steered you wrong at all?
No, you haven't. I know. I cannot wait to discuss.
Yes.
Are we kicking off? Should we spoil it for our viewer listeners?
Well, we've discussed the mechanics of it. You know, Dave and I are putting together the list of movies that we love that we want you to watch. But as we are putting together the list, I am of the mind we'll make gentle suggestions, but the power then needs to go to you. You know, if there's a movie you want to start with, that's what we go with. You just need to give us the heads up so that we can watch it and we'll be ready. But yeah, you know, we want to cede that power to you. If you're in the mood for drama, it should be a drama week. If you want to watch something funny, if you want to watch action, you want to watch something over the top, if you're not sure what you want to watch, we can give you a little breakdown of all the stuff in there because there's a million different kinds of movies. So that is my mindset.
That list is deep. I mean, we're starting off, we're kicking off with literally kicking off with Roadhouse.
Amen. Oh yeah.
Well done.
Oh, you're an honorary dad already.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I try.
Fantastic. I can already see the New Balance sneakers on you.
Oh my God.
I am so excited to show that movie to my daughter. It's
Are you going to watch it with her? Is Molly of Roadhouse ready?
I think I'm going to make her because she loves senseless violence, and I don't know if that movie has anything to recommend it other than senseless violence and the undeniable attraction between Sam Elliott and Patrick Swayze.
There's also, I'm just going to give you the heads up. If you do look this up on Common Sense Media, it's going to make you aware of a scene in the closet that Patrick Swayze interrupts. He's like, "I'm on my break. Stay on it."
Oh, that.
Yes. They're being friendly in the closet. There is the scene where she decides it's hot in here.
Yep.
There is the These Arms of Mine scene, which was a song that was an 80s thing where a lot of people had sex to These Arms of Mine in the 80s.
Yeah.
So just in case you haven't seen Roadhouse in a bit, I do, as a friend, want to give you that heads up that those are in there. Because when you think Roadhouse, you're immediately thinking throat ripped out. You're thinking of the kicks. You're thinking of Sam Elliott. You're thinking all of that. And you forget, there's a lot of naked people in this. And I don't know what it says about me in my weird Catholicism that I'm like, look, it's fine that a bunch of people get killed horribly, but there's also nipples. And I don't want the nipples to sneak up on you. Like, I get that I'm probably voicing my hang-ups right now, but I'm throwing it out there anyway, just so you know.
I think it's good to sort of throw those out ahead of time. Yeah, like I think she can handle the nipples, but I don't want her to be surprised by them either.
There you go. Great. Yeah.
I've got to ship off.
All right. Go be a corporate titan. Make them laugh for cash. Have a great time. Until next week, I'm Mike. That's Dave. That is Tookie. We're going to be back next week with I Do, where we say adieu to you. In this format, we're still going to be with you weekly. It's going to be great. No tears, just a loving goodbye to this brilliant sitcom we call Cheers. Until that adieu, I bid you adieu. Bye, everybody.